Well, I'm delighted to see all of you here this evening. It's a wet one where we are down in the southwest of France. And if you'd like to say where you're tuning in from, that'll be interesting also for Githa to see, I think, because we often have people can't know from what they call across the pond. And in the in the background, you'll see that there's a wonderful painting, and Githa will say a little bit about this, of the Sacred Heart, the Sacré-Cœur. There's a story behind that. And so she's in her garden space, I believe, in in Denmark. So one can tune in from anywhere. And before I go any further, I'm just going to light a candle. Here we go. And keep that light for the whole time that we're going to be together this evening. And it's a delight to have Githa with us. This is, for those of you who haven't yet seen her book, this is the book here. It's called Healing the Pineal, a Detox with Hung Song. And that's what she's going to be talking about this evening. She is a musician. You've probably seen in her description that she's a vocal sound therapist and composer. She was interestingly born into an atheist family from a Protestant background. I'm sure there's a story there. And she's studied at the Royal Danish Music Conservatory and has been made many trips to India to study classical Khyal singing. And she's also lived in Israel, and she lives in Denmark with her husband, who's also spoken for us, Lars Muhl. And so it's really wonderful to have Githa with us this evening. And I'm going to hand right over to her to start us off.
Thank you, David. Shall I just start?
Can you put your volume up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know how I do that. I'll just go and see.
Just a little bit, I think.
But where do we do that?
Into the bottom left corner of your screen, you've got the microphone icon, and then you should be able to edit your audio settings there.
It's called mute, but I don't mute it.
No, there's
an audio settings, and I will put it up. Yes, I will put it up. Is that better?
Yes.
Yes. That's better.
Like this?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, fine.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So I will start, and I can only see you, David, but that's very nice. I can see you.
Well, people now see you because we're all.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah. I'll see if I can be. I just tune this. I hope you out there are willing to play also and sing a little bit with me. When I say play, it's like being playful. But first of all, I will just introduce you to what I think is going to happen in this evening. It might happen that you need some more things of that. We might have some questions, and then I have to change the program, but I'm flexible. I've been working for like 34 years with the vocal sound healing, and I didn't actually choose it by myself. I wanted to be a famous singer-songwriter, and I wrote a lot of songs. But every time something happened somehow, that it was always the sound healing that came into the picture. And I worked hard against it because I didn't want to have the role of being somebody healing somebody else, because it was like, I would break with all my family. Everyone would think I was crazy if I did that. But anyway, it happened that somebody that was deaf got their hearing back. When I tried to sing on the head, it was actually, I didn't know that this woman was deaf when it happened. Because she was deaf only in one ear, I didn't know her very well, and she had a headache, and I just thought to experiment with this with the sound. And then she returned the day after because the headache didn't disappear, and I was like very ashamed I even tried to do it. And then she came back and said she got the hearing back. And I said, what hearing? yeah, she was deaf in one ear. So this was my starting point, and this kind of things has happened all the way. So I was like pushed into it, and I gave up now. I love it now, and I'm the black sheep that I should be. So if I should pass these things to you, the Heal the Pineal is my last book. I've been writing 9 books. And most of them in Danish, but also The Note from Heaven, which was Watkins published it, and they published actually 2 books in one in this one. Why I tell you this is because the basic of what I do is what I call the Note from Heaven. And I'll have to introduce this for you before we start to heal our pineal gland. Why? Because in order to listen truly to ourselves, we need to learn how to surrender first. To surrender to a higher level in ourselves, we can call it the oneness level. My journey into that started when I went to India first time to learn or study Pineal singing, where my teacher Mangala Tiwari, she told me just in the first lesson, you go home and sing one note. You know, I was told to sing one note for at least 1 hour a day, minimum. And I thought, I am like studying in the academy, and I played really fast, and I'm really clever, I thought, and I'm going to sing one note. But it was really challenging, and I did it. And then in the end, what happened was that while singing that one note, all of a sudden more than one note was coming out. All of a sudden it came a lot of notes out. And in that time, the overtone singing was not known. It came 1 or 2 years after, so I didn't know what was happening. So that's what's happening. When you start to surrender, your natural overtones will beam out. And it's not something you have to do in any artificial way. It's happening when you start to sing yourself. And the theory behind it is, that's what I found. You know, I had tried to find some theories in this, because my way is like things happening, and then I have to explain what is it after. So I think it's a pretty female way. We're not thinking the way, we just do it, and then it's happening, and we have to explain, or maybe the men can explain it, you know. So what was this? So somehow when you start to sing yourself and you stop trying to pretend to be someone, then your voice unfolds. And I was getting so bored by singing that one note at a certain time, and then it happened, you know. I was so bored that I stopped trying to sound like something special, and then it happened. So maybe we will not sing for 1 hour this evening, because you're also going to sing for the pineal, but I'm going to introduce you to this way of singing, also because it's opening your breath, and you need some practice of the breaths. We're going to go into that soon. And the note you will express will always be a mirror or reflect your breath. So you can also use this for a meditation, like measuring how deep you get, because you can simply hear when the voice starts to enter the oneness level, you're also in a oneness level with your mind. So you can't sit and think, oh, now I meditated half an hour, I'm probably quite deep. You can simply hear it. And it's also easier to do it with the voice, for me anyway, because I forget to think. I mean, the note vibrate in you, and you can feel the vibration. It feels very well. So in that way, I mean, it's a unique way of meditating. I find that. So, and the people in my courses, I have an international education, they love to sing the Note from Heaven. In the beginning, I thought, oh no, I have to give them new materials every day. No, people like to have the Note from Heaven. So we will try it in one moment. This is a tempura, and this is tuned in A. This note, it's chosen because most women's voices will feel well with the A, some men also. Some men will not, sorry. But then I will give you 3 notes when we start, because then you can choose, you know, what you feel comfortable with. I'm going to, before we start singing, I will tell you that this way of singing is a matter of opening, opening, opening up. My teacher, Mangala Tawari, she told me, open more even than you think you can open. It's not, you can open your mouth, but you don't have to over open it that you will have a problem here in the jaw. But it's like the gate of birth and death, you know. That's what, and that's why the R is so important. You see, the breathing, you need to breathe into your stomach. And that means that the lungs, when you fill out the lungs, they press down the internal organs, that your stomach will become big when you breathe in. For some people, that is hard to do because they have tension in the solar plexus. If it's hard, don't worry about it. We can sing some Hong song on it after, but we won't start with a Hong song, which is the one that will heal the pineal, because you might get tired when you start to sing the Hong, because the melatonin, the pineal will start to secrete melatonin. So we start now with this. So I'll just show you. I have to stand a little bit up. You will see my stomach here. So you breathe in and press it like a speeder. And you are allowed to sound like some kind of African living in the jungle, or an Indian that never saw anybody else. No, nothing like, you know, just a sharp one. Can I hear it? I can't hear you. Okay, but I hope you do it. You can also feel like a like a wild person. Is it too loud out there, my voice now? Yes, I will keep back.
Perfect.
Is it okay? So, can I hear you? Just think.
You can't, because everybody's muted.
No, okay, they're muted. Okay, but I hope you're doing it out there.
Yeah.
Because if you were in my course, then I would walk to each one of you and I would hear you doing it. Now you know it. So here, very good. And you put your hands on the stomach to be sure it's going in when you're expressing the sound. It sounds so simple, but it's actually a key for well-being, because when we breathe into the stomach and exhale by pressing it actively inside, it's like a belly dance, singing ha, ha. You really have to use your stomach. Then you also massage your inner organs. And they like it very much in your organs. So this you can practice when you do the dishes, whenever you do anything, you can do this. It's a very good thing. So this contact to the stomach, many of us breathe the opposite. And you don't use the full amount of your lungs, the capacity of your lungs. So it has to be down from there, from the root chakra. And it's a very masculine thing, I admit that, to do that. Before we go on to sing the note from heaven, I also will tell you that in these times of Corona times or COVID-19 times, it's so great. It's such a great tool, because when you sing the note from heaven and also the Hong song, your exhalation is getting prolonged. And that means when you prolong it, when the exhalation is prolonged, the parasympathetic nerve system is activated. And if you would measure the pH before and after, the pH will be alkaline when you sing, after singing for a long time. And this alkaline will kill cancer, for example, and virus. So, I mean, it's simple. Sing and you will be okay. I mean, at least another thing you could do is, if you got the COVID-19 and you went to the hospital and was really scared to die, you could do how one of my students did. She was just in my education 2 weeks in February last year, before we had COVID-19 in Denmark in March. I was thinking when she joined my education that she might be too old, but she was really insisting she wanted to join. She's a professor in psychology and philosophy, Nini Pretorius, Professor Emeritus, I think. She's been part of some Eurovision, some Europe something also. So I thought, okay, she was joining me, and she was like one of the young ones. She was really great. So she got the COVID-19 2 weeks after in Copenhagen as one of the first persons in Denmark that got it. And they didn't know how to treat her, you know. So they sent her home, and she was actually laying down and she hardly could breathe. But then she remembered how to breathe with the stomach. And also I have a practice CD that's for free. You can download it for free in our webpage, gilalai.com. I can show you that address later. But I have that for free, and she was just listening to this while she was struggling with the COVID-19. She couldn't eat, she could hardly speak with anybody, and just breathing. She was constantly just breathing, slowly, not to panic, because because she's a professor in psychology, she knew that it's the panic that will kill you. And she still is believing this, because while she had the COVID-19, she had lung cancer in both lungs also. That's why she came to my education. I didn't know, but that's actually why she came. She had lung cancer in both lungs and survived COVID-19, 81 years old. So who would not survive then? So if something will happen to your dear ones or to you, breathe. Concentrate on breathing down in the stomach and slowly. Okay, we finished. Now we go to the note from heaven. Now I sit with the note from heaven, but you can, when you do it, you can stretch out both arms. Yeah, I'm only stretching one arm, but it doesn't mean that you all have to sit with the left arm. You can do with both arms. It's because I'm holding this, so both arms out. That can help to surrender. This is like a surrendering mode. So when you sing, yes, great. But then when you breathe in, you can put it on your stomach and then you see, you can sing a long time. Just had not to break this picture behind me. The thing is that another thing what's happening when you start to sing from the bottom of your soul, or what you can call your stomach, then the breath is getting longer. So you will be amazed how long time you can breathe and sing. So you want to try it? You have to also, I have one drawing. Oh my God, yeah. Here, you see, this one, this circle, it's hard to put it like this. The circle is the R, and that's also what the Buddhists call the nothingness, or, you know, I call it oneness, but I think they call it the nothingness, and they also use the R for it, I found out later. The R is the key to get into that space. So when we sing that, it's never alone. It's always inside there. That's the NG will enter. there's some kind of energy inside. That's the center of it, the focus. Can you say like a sheep? I'll laugh like a okay. I'm not so funny when I can't hear you. I enjoy the people making sheep sound normally. So you can make more or less you can more or less focus the sound. So you can do it like, now I just do there's no power in it if it's not centered. So if you will center it, you imagine the energy in here. Can you feel, if you imagine this NG sound just in the top of the note, you won't say but you will just narrow it a little bit. Can you hear? I would like you to do it. Can you hear the difference? Overtones are coming when you do that. I hope you sing out there. I can't see you well. We see face. Are you singing? Yes, you are. Good. So we just do that. So play with that. And then another thing, you're allowed to sing as loud as you want. You know, it can feel like shouting, but it isn't. I tell you, when I gave birth to my eldest son and my youngest son, I had a midwife that she accepted I would sing while doing it. And I sang the note from heaven, and I sang loud, very loud. The pain disappeared when I do that. So that's another thing, you will get endorphins in the body from the singing. The same thing, I'm doing my own system now, these COVID-19 times. Every morning I'm trying to take a cold bath. And I make it longer and longer. Now I'm up in 5 minutes, but I sing while I do it. Then it's not so bad. So you can do many things with that. I just see. Yeah. So how long time should we do it? Should we sing for 10 minutes? Is that okay? When will we have the break, by the way? I can't hear. Okay, but
we've got 35 minutes or so until
okay,
we have a break.
Fine, good.
So we've got plenty of time.
Okay,
everybody's enjoying it. I can see.
Okay, so now we're going to sing the note from heaven.
Okay.
10 minutes. You ready? Go. And I give you 3 notes that you can choose. That's the deeper one, but it's the same as the top. Just continue even I'm speaking. We're reaching out. We're reaching out from the higher powers. And when we reach out, always somebody will lift us up. Sooner or later. And if strange sounds will come out of you, now mine is starting to make undertones, let it be. Let the notes come out that will come out. Don't try to change it. It's fine that they sound like strange sounds. And if it's too deep for you or it's not fitting, you can sing or but stay on one of the notes. And you feel how the stomach is moving in while you sing. And if you can't feel it, put your hand on your stomach and let it press it inside. It's not everybody it's easy for. So, it's like a speed of the stomach, so you press the speeder slowly, slowly, more and more inside. Just like getting fed, you know, like a small bird that's getting food from its mother. Be sure that both feet are on the ground and that you're not bowing your back too much. Sit straight on the edge of the chair if you can. And if it's too hard for you to sing loud, you can also sing soft, but you must have the stomach with you. It's actually harder to sing soft than to sing loud, somehow. Open more and more and more. to sit in a big group and sing, at a certain point you will not know who is who. You will just join a sea of voices and you will not know where is your voice. You're just disappearing into the sound. And you can put an H in front of the R, and that will maybe give it another sound or a better sound. Ha, we have half a minute left. And it helps to smile also. If we sing like this for 1 hour, then in the end, you know, you just throw the towel into the you can't perform anything in the end. You just and something is happening, and it's actually only after 10 minutes, 15 minutes you start really to relax into it. But until then, you can be provoked, and if you were provoked, it's normal. Just I tell you that you can be provoked from it. But after 10-15 minutes you will start to just be in it. What is happening when we sing like this is that and that's something I didn't know when I started doing it, but I know it now, that the vagus nerve, which is all the way here, and it's the biggest nerve of the body, it's combining the head. It's connecting the brain with all the inner organs, all the way down to the stomach. And it's it's from the neck into the jaw, into the ears actually, and all the way and down in the middle here, dividing here and then together and then dividing again, and everywhere it's going. This is balanced when we sing like this. And I know this because I was in the University of Aalborg. It was some television program, and they wanted to test it. And they put a test person that was not at all interested in singing with me. She just didn't know what she was going to do. And she said, I'm going to, okay. She was not a singer, nothing. And I just made her sing like this for 10-15 minutes. And they measured that her vagus nerve was balanced by it. So that means also that it will be able to also adjust stress, maybe. I've seen that people that are really stressed, It can also help them, but the problem is, of course, if your solar plexus is like all tied up, then it's very hard to breathe correctly. So what would we do then? If we can do something, then you can sing on that person's stomach. So is there anybody that felt they couldn't breathe out there? Then I could sing on their stomach maybe. I also don't have to see you. I could try to imagine your stomachs and I will sing on the stomachs. Okay, should I do that? I'll just show you how I can tune into. Did anybody mark out there? I can't see all of you. Did you see anybody marking that had a problem by breathing?
No, I didn't read anything.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to, shall I do it to you then? Now you're here. Can I sing on your stomach? Is that okay?
Mine?
Yes, I will sing on your stomach now. Is that fine?
Sure. What do I need to do exactly?
No, I'm just tuning into your stomach, and then the other stomachs will like it too, I think. They might, because you see, where is it here? Before I sing on your stomach, I'll just show. I have this tuning fork. It's an A also. Everything is an A. So I would, now it stopped it. We agree it stopped? Stop. And then I would sing. Can you hear? It will sing. Yeah. So if another tuning fork would be, if I would hit another one, this one would start, that was tuned the same way, would start singing together with it. So let's say that your stomach has some cells that have the same frequency that other people's stomachs has. So they will start to speak together. Through this computer, the sound will work, you know? If I can hit your stomach's frequency, that's something very special, because I found out, and I can't explain that why, but I can do this through the computer. Because of the COVID-19, we found out, and we had to do it, you know, overseas. So I will try now to go into your stomach. I'll just
meditate, right?
Yeah, if you can do whatever you want. It's good. And it might come some strange sounds. You know, if I find a trauma, is it okay? Then it might be, and I'll just continue singing it until it's gone.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll try around the solar plexus also. Ooh. And I do it with the undertones. When it's jumpy like this, then it means that it wants attention. It's a trauma sound, and it's on your, for me, what is it? Right adrenal gland. That's the top of the kidney. So I just go for the right adrenal gland and to try to take it away. It's very normal. You can have something a little bit stressy there. Ooh, oh, it's complaining now. My God. Oh dear. Ooh. Ooh. No, they're smooth, both of them. Very good kidney. Yeah, gone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's really weird because I do have a problem with my right kidney, so it's
you have
that you have said that.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
I have a childhood trauma from it. I used to have like a very small minor illness, but it left a scar on the kidney. So
really, yeah, because it's amazing, because these undertones, it's like you know, they are autonomic, you know, it's like a radio signal, you know, it's coming, and I can't do anything. They're just coming when I sing.
But it's just, I find that really odd that you.
Yeah, it is odd.
You know, you have this power to heal, but to hear it, it's like, whoa, okay. That's why when you said it, I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, because the left one didn't complain, but the right one complained. It's like, you know, we start to communicate with our body. And you can also communicate like this yourself with your body, but it's easier to do it with others than to do it with yourself.
Wow. Thank you.
Gita, we have someone, Gail,
Yeah.
said that she would like a little treatment as well.
Yes,
Gail
thank you.
Early.
Yes, where is she?
She is, well, let's see if we can you unmute Gail?
Yes,
Jessica,
I'm doing that right now. I'm just trying to find her.
and then we can see her.
Just, you should relax with your kidney, my dear.
I shouldn't be doing any work now. Okay, I've got you, Gail. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow, that was
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah, where do you need some?
You know, when you said solar plexus, I've carried tension there since childhood.
Yeah,
and so for
I'll go
many
into it.
decades, I was short of breath, and
Yeah.
I've been trying to work on opening that
Okay.
up.
So I will try, because that's the thing, is it's really great, and you should know, everybody, you can do it too. It's just this growling will come when you start to sing the note from heaven. It will start to come, and I started playing around with this, and these notes came. I thought, it's too embarrassing, and I couldn't handle it. And then people say, no, but it feels well, and then they got healed from it. So I continued doing it, but it's not sounding, beautiful. I know that, but it helps. So I'm trying. I ask for love and light for Gail. Ooh. Oh, my dear. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, down, totally down in your stomach is fine. Ooh. That's both of them. It's not good. So we will see. I think you can breathe now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I felt that a lot in my root chakra, oddly enough.
Yeah. Can you breathe now? Is it easier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw some image, that's another thing that, you should allow me. Can I tell?
Please, yeah.
Because this is also something that's coming with this, when you start to open yourself up, to listen. It's just listening to your body, actually, to let you be yourself, let your voice unfold how it is. When you do that, also, that happened to me, that I start to see images when people sing. I mean, that's maybe my gift, but I know 1/3 about in my education usually can do it too. And it's also a matter of letting these images, to believe in them, because we are all scared of it, because what is that? It's fantasy, no? Yeah, it might be fantasy. I don't care what it is, but if it works, it's good, So it's not that like a clairvoyance or something. It can be dreamlike images also. It can be symbols. So what I saw is just very short. It came, if it's continue coming, I think, okay, it might be good enough. And it helped the trauma stopped screaming or shouting, or wanting the sound. When I started changing this image, it was some soldiers in blue, blue uniform with some kind of, casquette. What do you say in English? The
Hat.
Yeah, hat, but with a red and black something, and golden here. They were kind of looking noble, but somehow this small girl was in trouble. I don't know what happened to her, but it could have been very bad. And I just took her away from them, and I said, she has to be with her mother. She has to be with her mother. And your mother took you, and that's it. Nothing happened to you. So we changed the story. I don't know what happened, but some kind of fear was there. So when I changed the story in my mind, I just said, okay, let the mother have her. We don't need to see all the story. Then the sound got smooth.
Wow.
I don't know if you had some images like this or you know about it.
I had some trauma in my very, very early childhood and even pre-verbal that I've been trying to process. I would like to know more about like the image that you saw. You said it was like a blue uniform with
Yes, some young men standing.
young men, and it was like a kind of, was it a hat of some sort?
You know, this kind of thing, they have this thing, what I don't know how to say it in
A cap?
you know, put it off like a
Police hat?
The seamen could have it also, but it's also some soldiers have it, like police officers, not police officers, I don't know.
Yes, a hat with a kind of rim.
Yes, with a rim.
Front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could.
Higher, a little bit higher. I don't know. And it doesn't need to be from this life, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would love to talk more about this because
it doesn't matter. But now it just came. So and the sound seemed to change. So if it worked, then it's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
The story in itself, I mean, usually it's not important. For me, it's important. I mean, it's important that you will get released. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know I do it very shortly because it
Thank you.
Yes.
We do have one or two other people, but I don't know whether we can do any more individuals. But whether
I could show another way you can do this sound healing, because if you want to play with it, you can do it to each other also, or to an animal, you know.
Well, maybe that would be helpful, because I think if there's something that people can also do for themselves or ask their partner to do.
Yeah. I mean, to do this, we will go into the Hong song later. That's a part of the undertone. It's not, this is the open one. It's like a crocodile opening, open one. But the Hong sound, and that's good that you can practice it in the break, maybe when it's coming, is Hong. Great, David. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Sounds like an animal.
Yes. Yeah. It's like you call it the purr of a cat? How you call purring? The cat?
Yes, purring.
So I have here in this book, I have it inside here. I see if I can see it. I have also a drawing of it here, but I think this is maybe better this one. Yeah. So you see, here's the soft cavity of the mouse inside here. And there's a red point here. That's where the pituitary is. The pituitary is just situated where the soft palate, when we sing hung, you can feel it's like, stuck up here, it's coming up here somehow, hung. And not the hung, I know I write it with the U, but it is actually hung. A mixture of O and U, and then it's coming up here exactly where the neurologists, they would, if they were going into the central nervous system, they're going through the mouth or the nose and into that place, through that soft palate and into the behind the nose and up, because the pituitary is there. So when we do this, there's only very thin skin wall, and we're going straight up into the central nervous system. I think that's great. So when we do that, we're actually, with the hung sound, the undertone of hung, we're going into the center. And it's for being more narrow, the sound, but with our intention, we can place it in any part of our body. And I've been making some experiments with it. It's so interesting. This I won't tell you with all the story of how I found it and how it worked. I mean, it worked. It did miracles for myself. I was healing myself with it from menopause symptoms. I was out of balance, really out of balance. I thought I can manage it. I was really up and down with the hormones. And then I did this hung song for the pineal gland and all my endocrine glands in the body. And in 15 minutes, I was totally balanced, and it never returned. No depression, nothing. I mean, I think it's so simple.
So what you're saying is that we can do a lot of this for ourselves.
Yes, but
And
you,
so
but yeah,
people on the call who have chronic problems and chronic pain,
yes,
and so I think we maybe after the break we'll have a little bit of a session, sort of generalized healing, perhaps.
yes. But the thing is, now it's good. I just tell you this now because I was believing that my sound healing can take any illness, but there is something that we need to be aware of. That's the toxins in the body.
Oh yeah.
And because the sound, and we know that for sure now, especially the hung sound, can loosen the toxins. Let's say you have a pain somewhere, or you have a weak liver, you will go in and support your liver. Especially the liver is important before you detox. So you'll go into the liver and detox it. Then, if you do that, then you might have some Herzheine reaction. That means that you have side effects. And that means you can have serious side, you can really be sick out of it. Because the toxins, you know, the sound will say, oh, get loose, get out. But if there's nobody to catch the toxins, if the body is not able to detox itself, then we have a problem. So that's why I am now combining it, especially with, you know, Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet.
Edgar Cayce, yeah.
Yeah. He used the castor oil a lot. And I've been experimenting with that. So when people detox and they get these symptoms, it's really important, if you go in to work with it, have some castor oil ready, put it on your liver to take the toxins out and support the liver. Really important. I have an example. I just got a testimony today. I brought it also in my newsletter. It's nice to have a fresh one like that. A woman that I did some webinars for free, or you could donate if you want, in the summer. And one of them was how to detox the liver. Because before really doing a serious detox, it's important that the liver and the intestines and the kidneys will be quite well working, because otherwise you'll reabsorb the toxins. So it's heavy metals we talk about. Because the sound cannot ensure that it's excreted. So that's why it's important to use this oil. And she did this woman. She, you know, I didn't remember, you know, I didn't think people will use it a lot, this webinar, but she's been using it again and again, this one with the liver. And she got really a headache when doing it, but then she put the castor oil and then it helped and all her problems disappeared. So few months she was without anything, and then all of a sudden she started to get pain in all her body, all her joints. And the doctor said, okay, you might have arthritis and we will give you some painkillers. And then she said, okay, before I take the painkillers, I better try this again. And she liked this liver detox. I mean, she was stuck on that one. There are many things you can do, but that's also a good place to be. So she was going into the liver and singing for the liver and did it daily and put this castor oil after. Now she has no pain in her body. So I just tell you this to combine. And I was so happy. She thanked me. Oh my God, it works, you know. So, but be aware if you do a lot of the undertones. I had one student that, I know we have to stop a break and some people were waiting for the healing, but we will do it later. I had some student that she was actually from England, a mathematician that's living in England. And she wanted to test this with the undertones. So she was having a drive in 2 hours for some work. And she was singing it nonstop to the job in the car. And when she returned also, so 4 hours a day. She had diarrhea for 5 days after. But she, oh, it was great. It was a detox. She knew the symptoms of detoxing, so she didn't care. So if you really wanted to get rid of it, you should just sing for 4 hours. But don't be angry with me if you get diarrhea. So few of my pupils have healed themselves like that.
Yes, and thank you everybody for putting into the chat various advice about castor oil and how you use it. people, because you rub it in. That's right.
You make a pack. You make
a pack
with
right.
with some
package fabric. Yes, that's what Christian G is saying, with hot water bottle on top.
Yeah. You put some cotton, a big three layers about, and then a lot of castor oil. I mean, not too little, and then some plastic and some towel and some hot water bottle.
Okay, good.
You can sleep with it all the night, but next morning wash yourself, because the toxins might sit there in the skin.
Right. So this detox process is obviously very important as part of the overall, procedure.
Yeah, and the sound is too, because the sound is loosening it. And I didn't understand. I have had heavy metal poisoning myself, serious actually, with lead, and I didn't know that, And my pain was, when I sing on it, it just moved around in the body, of course, because the voice will loosen it, and then it will find a new place. So that's why we need to get it out. So I write also about this in the Heal the Pineal, but also another book I have written called Help in Danish. It's now translated. It's also about all what you can do about detoxing and singing together. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this might be a good point to have a short break. So now we'll go back to Githa. Githa, how would you like to structure the next period? Because obviously we'll be able to have some questions, some other interventions, then the hung part of what you have to share with us.
You decide that, David. You are the most. You have most experience here. How you want.
Well, I think it would be a good idea if we just got back into, as it were, our experiential mode.
Yes.
For a few minutes. That's my feeling.
So I try to show some. I can show you how you can heal also with the voice, or more with the.
Yes. I think so. Then we'll see if anybody's got any questions, and I'll also just pick out 1 or 2 points from the chat.
Yes.
And then we'll see. We've still got a good chunk of time together.
Yes. And you see also what is interesting for me is that the more people that will do this, that's how I also learn, is the more experience we get, the more we will know.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are we doing now then? Is there any, should I heal? Shall I show you how you can do sound healing with the real notes?
Yes.
So
I think that would be very good.
Anybody will try that? It's somebody with something in up here from the chest to up, maybe I can just try to show how it's better to do that with the real notes up here. The autonomic sounds are more down, and the real notes are from the solar plexus and up, usually like this. So was there anybody that I should sing on? No?
Well, Geraldine Lander said she had has had chronic pain for 30 years. So.
Yeah, so let me have her. If she needs undertones, I'll give her undertones. We'll just see.
She was here before. Geraldine, you can probably hear us. If you put your hand up again, then we'll...
I've unmuted her. Well, I've asked her to mute, so let's just wait and see.
Otherwise, someone...
Are you there, Geraldine? She was on the top left before. Yes, here she is. Yes, you need to unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Unmute, yeah.
Yeah, now you're unmuted.
Great.
Right, yes, I have to. I just like to say that I have tried everything, and I thought maybe it was my pineal gland that was the problem. When I saw your workshop, I signed up to explore it.
Yes. It can be. We will do the pineal gland in all the group in one moment, but can I just scan you to see, do you have pain all over the body, or where do you have the pain?
I have it in the crown of the
Okay.
like a chakra block.
So I will try to go into your crown then. Is that okay?
Absolutely, yes.
Maybe I just see if there's something in the stomach before, just because it's often mirrored that the stomach together with the brain.
Definitely gut.
So I do the undertones and then I will do the real notes after. I ask for love and light. Your name, what was that?
Geraldine.
Geraldine. I just asked for love and light to Geraldine. You're right, it's not in the body. I just take if not something serious there. I try to go up in your brain. Okay, and I would, could you feel it, something?
I can certainly feel more movement in the crown of my head there.
Yeah.
It's pressure, not pain, but it's very heavy pressure.
It's a pressure. Okay, so I will now do something that I can do with the group after, but I will just try now to enter your pineal. Okay, I will try if I can do it. I just imagine doing it. We'll see what's happening. I'm going from the up of the head, and then I'll do with the hung sound. I will stop now because also the others have to have it. But you're right. There's something about around the pineal. You're right.
There is. No one has ever said that to me.
No, but for the sound, I could feel it on the sound that it was a lot of resistance, and it looked like some kind of I mean, it's just what I see, you know. I don't take it like I'm in a Röntgen, but I saw it like some kind of thing sitting around it. Maybe some kind of parasite could have attacked it or something. Maybe. I don't know, but it could be. But now we try to let it leave you. So you will have more in one moment, then we will give to everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but you might get tired after if we do it more than just.
No, I'm having a treatment for parasites.
You are?
Yes.
So maybe the parasite attacked you there.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but I've had it a long, long time.
Yes. So the parasites, you know, they like to stay where there are heavy metals or, you know, toxins, because it's according to Dr. Klinghardt from Germany. He's also actually a clinic in England, I think, and in USA. He's saying that the reason why the parasites love heavy metals or toxic metals is that they attract radiation. Because they go for the copper, because it's the electrons are very light, so they are moving very lightly. So that's why the radiation will always seek to the place where there are heavy metals. So that's why the ones that are have toxins in the body will also be more sensitive to radiation. So that's the silverheads, or what you call them in England. That's the ones they are more sensitive because of all the toxins. And the parasites, they can live from radiation. We know that from the Hiroshima, the nuclear bomb, because the only thing that survived and really grew from it, that was the parasites.
Gosh.
That's a thought.
So you have to take care of radiation too.
Yeah.
Be aware of that.
Well, thank you very much for that, Githa. Let's come back to the focus on the group and what we can do together and for each other.
So much.
Yes. So first of all, there's two different ways of undertones. The undertones are really good because you don't have to be a singer to do them, but you have to relax in order to get them out. And they are like, it's working. Let's say if you had somebody with you call it colic, when the kids that have this thing in the stomach, pain.
Yeah.
You can, if you're a man, you can make deeper notes than a woman. You can on the stomach, and it can take it. You just have to continue half minute to 1 minute, and it will start to help for that. I help so many babies with this, especially if you're in the bus or somewhere. So everybody is really problem. It's a problem for that the baby would scream, in a social place, So you can actually ask the mother very carefully, or tell her, please, can you do like this on the stomach? It might help. So they take the pain in general also, and it can also heal fractures. So especially if it's a fresh fracture, it's very easy to do it. So, and I saw that because people are usually getting to the doctor when they have a fracture, and they have what you call these photographs,
X-ray.
X-ray. And then if I had them shortly after that, and then they have an X-ray after 3 weeks, maybe, middle way. And then the doctor said, what? There's no fracture. Maybe it was a mistake. We thought it was a fracture because it's gone when we sang on it. But that's why it's good to be able to know these undertones. So the open one is and you can do any vowel you want. Maybe it's easier for some to say E, O, yeah. You take any vowel you want, and sometimes one vowel will be better and others. So that's also something you need practice to know which vowel will be the best one. Usually the body will speak for itself which one it likes. So the O and the U, will be, I can't really make them if I don't have a body. So I actually just started. I'm not allowed to do it without asking. I will do it on David. No, I'll not do it on David. But it's easier to do it when you have somebody doing it on. Because then the resonance will start to work. And that's what is so fantastic about this, that it's not you, it's not, if it was David and me, it was not David, it's not me, it's happening between us. It's an interaction, and it's happening in that moment. So, and the same thing, let's say, you can do with so there's this open undertones that's like...
You want to volunteer? Because there's someone, yes, Primaya Anastasia, she says she'll volunteer.
Yeah.
You need a body, she says.
Yeah. Yes.
We can all be on the receiving end.
The problem is, if I find something serious, it's hard not to do it. So where is she?
If you could maybe unmute her. I don't think she's got any particular problems.
No, good.
Jessica, do you see that? Prima Vada? Yeah, here we are.
Anastasia, what's your name?
Well, it's Priyamvada.
What?
Priyamvada.
I can't hear you.
Prima Vada.
Primavera. Okay. So I will do just show that I will just show you the undertones, the open ones. Like we'll see if she needs the OU. The OU will be the deepest undertones, and that's the ones that usually will show the trauma sound. But sometimes other ones can be too. Yeah, it's true you don't have any problem in your stomach, really. So if I would do it, then the hung sound, it's my interpretation, but you might have another feeling. I mean, this is not my sound, it's our all people's sound. So what you experience is what is true for you. So I tell what is true for me. But I have the feeling when you do the undertones with hung sound, then you get something else. You get another layer, just like when the Buddhists, the Chinese make the pulse thing, that you have different pulses and different ways of taking the pulse. I think the different sounds will take different layers of the body. So I just try with the hung now, same place. It's more fine, the hung, so it's more sensitive. So there was a little bit in the solar plexus. I will just go into the solar plexus now. I'm okay. You're okay with it? Okay, now it's fixed. So then I will show also on you how you can scan with the voice, because we also have to do some hung song together soon, all the group. So what you can do...
And the hung song is for the pineal specifically, is that right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's because you're going to be tired when we do it.
Ah, that's true.
Then I'll do it in the end, but maybe we go into the amygdala and we will do also the hippocampus before that, just to, brighten up the brain a little bit.
Right. So we need to time that properly. Otherwise, we'll all go to sleep before the end of the meeting.
Yes, it'd be better. So that will also show you that you don't get tired. If you do the hippocampus and the amygdala, we don't get tired. But if we go into the pineal and the adrenal gland, the melatonin will start being done. So I'll just show how I do the scanning with the real notes. I know it's very fast, all this, and we use a full week just to get into it usually. So, but if you scan, it's like, you will slide. Now I use the U to slide because I like U. U is like a narrow sound, and I like it like it's more precise for me to do it with that. Some people like to do it with an R because it's wider, but they like that more. So I do it with a U. You can also do it with an O, whatever you like, but I do it with U. See, and then I'm sliding up. So the deeper the note, the farther down you are in the body, and the higher up like this. That's the basic principle. But if you're not able to sing high notes, it can also work your higher part of your notes. It can also work anyway. But this note, now I stopped here because this note had some resonance. I'm sorry, but I think I got your I got your David. I came to do it on you. I mean, it was up in the crown somewhere. Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody can probably feel it somehow, somewhere in the brain. Yeah, it's almost an angel sitting up there, you know, it's very nice. So in this way, it was just a short introduction for that. But you see, the hung sound, now we come back to that, is that it's very interesting because it shows what it showed me. I mean, it's been taking me 34 years to believe fully in this because I really want things to be proved normally. I'm like a type that I like also science. And I know some scientists that work together with them. But what I have found out that's really true is that the sound will follow your intention. So if you are able to focus your intention, the sound will go there. Exactly as how if you do a deep relaxation and the yoga teacher will tell you feet, knees, hips, you know, we relax there because our attention is coming there very fast and it's somehow relaxed then. The same thing with the sound. You can add energy to any place in your body with the sound because the sound is mechanic, you know, especially this NG, you know, it's like giving energy to a place. So if you have an illness, of course, adding energy to that place will be good to the area where you have a problem. So before we'll go into the pineal, I have made this with a paint here that just to show that most of people's pineal gland is calcified. They say even there was an scientific research about children from 8 till 16 years. 39% had a calcified pineal gland already. So I'll just tell you this that we won't miss it. I had to go in. I wrote this Heal the Pineal because I started experimenting with myself to purify my pineal because I know a scientist woman, very, very bright woman, Stephanie Seneff from Boston in USA. She's a senior scientist, and Monsanto sued her, so you can see she's into glyphosate and all this. And she also was studying autism because of the glyphosate thing, and also a lot of with the vaccines. She says, by the way, that she also went into the COVID-19 vaccine, and she's not going to have it. They're in Japan now not to get it, I think. Anyway, she told me that, and I read some of her, she has made a lot of TED Talks and interviews also in the internet, and that the pineal gland, we know that it's creating the melatonin for the body. Melatonin is a very important hormone because it's said to be in charge of all our circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm it's actually deciding when we die, when we get aging. It's deciding the rhythm of our day, how we feel, when the liver would be do like this, and when it's really important, the circadian rhythm. I also write all about this, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. So the melatonin is deciding when we will sleep and when we will wake up, and it's the pineal gland that's secreting it. So actually it's not the melatonin, but it's the pineal gland. And the pineal gland, we know that it's known, you probably know much more about this, David, about the pineal gland than me, about the Egyptian things and all this, no? I know that they used to really...
the pine, yeah.
Yeah. There are historically a lot of respect about the pineal gland, but in our times it's just been degraded to a gland, and they even don't mention it in. I mean, the doctors hardly know anything about it now. But the problem is that the pineal is if it's calcified, of course, it's not as flexible and it can't receive as much light as it would do otherwise. The pineal is sitting, I have it here, this one. Let's see if I can have it up here. No, I just see.
That's good.
That's good. Here.
Yeah.
So you can see here the neck of the bird's head, the violet purple color. So I've been drawing this a little bit lightly. You know, it's not perfect, but it's like a bird's head inside the central nerve systems. And that's where I can understand it, and I can faster imagine where I go in the brain. So in the neck of the bird's head, close to the reptile brain, there is the pineal gland. It's totally in the center of our brain. So the beak of the bird's head is the hypothalamus, and out of the beak is hanging an opposite heart, which is the pituitary gland. And that's the one that is close to our, in here in the soft palate. Actually, when we lift it, we're coming really high and it's up here. So, and here we have a suprachiasmatic nucleus. It's a small nucleus, and that's the counter of light. And that will count how much light the eyes are getting a day. And it's not light from the computer, it's light from outside. That's why it's so important to get out, to get some light. And that's sending it to the pineal in the evening. We have so much light, make so much melatonin. So that's also important, but it's the pineal doing it. So the pineal gland will, it's really, really important, because if we don't get melatonin enough, we can't sleep well. And when we don't sleep well, we don't detox well. So the other part of it is that that now Stephanie Seneff is coming in. She's telling that the pineal gland is not only making melatonin, it's also creating sulfate in the daytime. It's creating sulfate, melatonin at night, sulfate at the daytime. It's also in charge of hallucinations, some things, what is DMT and this and that. But now we don't go into that. But the sulfate is really important, because the sulfate can restructure the water in the body. It's restructuring the cells. I'm sorry, but now we're getting into restructuring also. Do you know about this? Jel Pollack? Jel Pollack is a professor in biology and engineering from Washington, and he found the fourth phase of water. The fourth phase of water is gel. And the gel is laying in very, very, very thin layer in top of the water. And it's always minus. And it's always pure. The water has always a very, very thin layer that's completely pure, because it's kept in the minus. And it's kind of a tension in the water. And the cells are so tiny, so they can only contain the structured water. So the structured water, what do you think is happening if some toxins are coming inside the cell? Like Masaru Emoto, you know this guy, he was making images of water, the Japanese, that he made images of water. You can see that if nice water has a very nice structure, but polluted water will be, without structure. And so that means that if we can restructure water that has lost its shape because it's polluted, then this restructured water will push out the toxins like that. And the sulfate, it's doing this. It's restructuring water. So at night, the sulfate is stored in the daytime as heparan sulfate, because the sulfate can also structure the blood when it's transported, and we don't need to have blood clots. So it's very, very, the body really takes care that it will not be released the wrong places. So it's stored as heparan sulfate, and then in the evening, when the melatonin is secreted, it's coming, hello, 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 sulfate, come with me, and it's changed to melatonin sulfate. And then the melatonin and the sulfate is allowed inside the cells, the cell walls. And you know, this is really difficult to get into the cell. It's like usually you really have to be special in order to get in there, because they really take care of themselves, the cells. But here is the cleaning stuff coming in the night. They are allowed inside. So the melatonin and the sulfate will purify the cells at night. And that's why it's so important that we sleep, because the melatonin is sent out of the body. We sleep with the melatonin excretion, and then the sulfate will purify us. So if we have a lot of sleeping problems, we also don't detox well. The body's natural detox system will not work well, and that will be a bad circle, an evil circle. So that's why I think that's really the key point of all, to detox the pineal gland, because it will kickstart the body's natural detox system. And many of us, our detox system doesn't work well, because on this, the pineal gland, what is this white thing? What could we imagine? It is fluoride, mostly fluoride. It's it's taking care of our teeth, but it's so much attracted to the pineal gland. And it's calcium, and it's chlorine, and it can also be aluminum, things like this sitting on it. And the thing is that the pineal gland, again, according to Stephanie Seneff, is 2 to 4 times more polluted than other parts of the body, because it's standing in the middle of the bloodstream unprotected. And why does it do that? Because it's so important for the body, and it has to give immediately messages to the body when it gets inputs. I would call it the queen or king, or the top of the endocrine system, but it's even not hardly mentioned with the doctors, but it's really, really important. Most other organs, important organs, they are protected with a blood-brain barrier, but this one not, and also not the pituitary and the hypothalamus, because these 3 are the trinity, you know, in the brain, that's really in charge of giving messages to all the other endocrine glands. If they are not working, the 3 up here, the others will not work. They don't want to do anything if they don't get messages from the top. They just sit like this, even they are well working. And that's why, let's say you had a problem with thyroid, then it might not work, but it's not that problem, it's not in the thyroid, it's because the pituitary will not give it messages, you know, then it's a problem in the pituitary. You know, sometimes it's like this working. Anyway, we are going to work a little bit with the Hong Song now, I think.
Yes, just before we do that, there's a specific question from Val Githa, who says, can a fluid-filled simple large cyst vibrate from the note, and then in doing so reduce in size and allow the body to absorb the cyst?
The cyst, what was it, a cyst? A fluid-filled cyst?
Yes.
I think so. I cannot, you know, I only know when it works, you know, because we need the scientists to look at this, you know. It would be so much easier. I have been trying to get somebody to photograph my brain while I sing for the pineal gland, just to see what's going on, you know, but nobody is interested. But the cyst, there was once a woman that she had a big cyst in the neck, and they were going to operate her, and she was told that she might lose the ability to move when they do it. And then she came actually for Lars, my husband, and he forgot, and he was not home, so we can try to sing on it. And then we did. And I taught her these undertones that she could sing for herself and try to take the pain. And then while she did it, she made really good undertones. And I did it too. We did it both. Then it started to run out infection out of her ear. I said, what? Just ran yellow infection out of her ear. And we had to put some paper there. And when she got home, she got a very high fever, and she got scared of this. She got scared of this really fast reaction, but she got over it, and she didn't need an operation. So I won't say it can do it anytime, but you know, we've also seen another person, one of my students. I just had a baby that time, so I couldn't do it. It was a family phone from Sweden. They were just in the other side. We're in Denmark, so it's a little bit journey to go there. But a young girl, 16 years, a very big tumor in the head. They were going to operate her, and it was really a dangerous operation. So they asked if I could come to do a sound healing on her. I said, no, please, Rose will go, because that's one of the others. She has a very special voice, like, so I thought maybe she can do it. And she went there, and the next day it was like a pea, the tumor. And Rose is very humble, so she said, we can't be sure it's me. No, we can't be sure, but the day before it was so big, and now it's like a pea. So I think it had something to do with it. So we can't prove anything, but we saw that the voice did something, and then the problem disappeared. So that's how I think.
Thank you. We've got a comment from Lawrence Mohammed here saying that he knows Tanya Singer, the Max Planck Institute, and could put you in touch in terms of being able to have your brain measured while you're singing.
Really? Oh, I'm so happy. I think I will have to be with your group. I think.
Yeah, great.
I'll be a member.
Well, we're going to do that for you anyway. So Lawrence, if you get in touch with us, and we'll send that straight on to Githa, and I'm sure she'll be delighted. And then she'll have to report back how she's getting on. Thank you. Right. I think we're sort of moving towards the final phase. So,
so I will do this. Going to do some Hong song, but we're also going to. I will just show you this. Is that okay? I like this.
Sure. Yeah.
I like this. So I mean, it looks like some alien. I'm sorry. But it's in order, you see, now we have the COVID-19 and many people lose the ability to smell. So it's actually the olfactory bulb which is sitting inside the nose that is attacked. And who knows if you could sing on this bulb inside the nose. You know, it's actually like a bulb. It's like here, and then it's with a line into this, and then it can connect to the hippocampus like this and go into the amygdala. You see? It's like, you can just imagine it's like a ram. You call it a ram? Ram horn. You know this? The male?
Yeah, the ram, yes.
The ram. Yes. So if you imagine that you're going into the nose, and then inside there you just make this feeling of going a ram horn, and then in the middle here there is the amygdala. It's ending in a small
almond.
Almond, yeah.
Almond.
Yeah, almond. And then you can sing on that, because it's very good to, if the amygdala might sometimes have a red light, then it's stressed. That's the really one that's saying, oh, something is wrong here. And then all the hippocampus, this is a small part of it, there's also a bigger circle here, will react on that and start to process, oh, is it dangerous? Is it not dangerous? Oh, should I do it? How should I react? But here it's just saying, oh, it's dangerous. And if it's stuck here, then we can't work on anything, you know, because it will say, oh, it's dangerous. Even we will relax all kind of other things. So I will just guide you to go into this and in here. And after that, we will take the pineal and the hypothalamus and the pituitary. Is that fine?
Great, perfect.
If you want to continue when you go to sleep, you can do it again, and then you can go into the other glands. I won't do it all because you will fall asleep, you know. The thyroid, the thymus, the adrenal glands, maybe the pancreas if you have some sugar issue, but you don't have to take the pancreas if you don't have sugar issue. And then the ovaries, or the, what's it called? Yeah, the male thing down there.
Yeah.
So, testicles. Yeah, it's okay. So I will just guide you. So we are entering through the nose, and you will say this as well as you can. You might be you know, a little bit that you can't sing it smoothly in the beginning. Don't worry about it. It will come after some time, and you have to breathe all the time. But after some time, you will be able to say it. Into the nose, into the to the hippocampus, around in the ram horn, and into the amygdala. We're doing it now in the right side. And if anybody finds there's a problem with the sound, it can also be because there's something you have to work on in the brain. Now I will just try to make the right side green light inside the amygdala, that it will not be scared. Great. Now we take another breath. We take the left side. It's a fast one we're doing now. Going into the nose and around with the ram horn and into the amygdala. And we make the amygdala become a green light, that if it's too tense, we will just loosen it up. And now we balance the two of them. We're going through both of the nose, into the nose in both sides, and we take both of the ram horns at once. And we will end with the amygdalas, and we will connect them. Now, when you finish, now take contact to the pineal gland, which is in the center of your brain. It's the shape of a small pine nut. Maybe it's bigger if you're very young, but it's usually from a small grape till a pine nut, and it's sitting in the neck of the inner bird's head and in the center of the brain. And you might meet some resistance there because there is some fluoride in this, but imagine that it's a dentist tool that you're purifying it with. Just continue until the sound will be smooth. Maximum 3 minutes at one time, at one place, not to overstimulate anything. And if you can't make the sound or express the sound yourself, just let my sound work for you. We just do it 1 or 2 breaths more. Yes, now we're moving to the beak. Just take a small break, breathe and be quiet. We're moving to the beak. And when you feel ready, you start to sing for the beak too. It's pointing towards the eyes, inside your brain. Oh, now we're going to the pituitary, which is hanging as an opposite heart out of the beak, and it's in the inside the brain, but in the front part of it. And let the sound do its work. Let it just be strange and coming strange sound. Let it be and just wait until it will work and be straight again. Now go back to the pineal gland. Even you had problems with some of the glands to make the sound correct. It's just you can move a little bit around in order that you won't concentrate too much energy in one place. Sometimes getting through in another place will help the place that it's not working well in the sound, because sometimes it's stuck, some things are stuck that won't get loose, so it can help to get the blood flowing to another place. So we do the pineal, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary once more. Just shorter term now. Pineal. And it's placed in the neck of the bird's head. And now the hypothalamus. And now the pituitary. Thank you very much. And if you want to do it before you sleep, try to do that and then continue down to the other glands. So it's the throat, the thyroid, the thymus that is in the chest, one width of a hand over the chest bone, breastbone, and it's the pineal gland that's on top of the kidneys, deeply inside the kidney, deeply inside the solar plexus. And there are the ovaries and the testicles, whatever you like to do it on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gita. There's one or two just sort of clarifications I'd like to put to you. Someone's just asking how you actually make the sound, and I think it's a vocalization at the back of the throat, isn't it? I mean, when you say hung. I mean,
it's important that you will say that it's like you will, let's say you have the soft palate here, and then you will push up when you see the top of the nasal cavity is up here, and then the soft palate is like movable, you know, hung, hung, hung. And then when you say hung, you're closing actually this one up here, so that the sound has to pass through, you know, this narrow place that you close with the ng. So you shouldn't close it too tightly. You have to relax a little bit, that some air can, you know, vibrate between it, and then the vibration here is going straight up to the pituitary that's in the other side.
Right, so it's the vibration which is the important thing in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah, good. That's great. And then there's another technical question about
there's a detail before it is that it is much louder inside the head than outside. If I say it's not so loud for you, but inside my head, if I put my fingers in the ear, it sounds like a machine gun or something. Yeah. It sounds really loud inside. So if you put your fingers in the ears, it should be very loud inside your head.
Yeah, and the question, can the membrane between the two hemispheres of the brain be calcified? That's a question.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's a new thing, this, you know, I'm going in to know the anatomy now, because only by knowing the anatomy, we can imagine where to put the sound. So I take one part at a time of the brain to know it.
Okay. And so then where did you learn the sounds? Where did you learn the sounds? Christian's asking.
Where do you learn it?
No, where did you learn the sounds yourself?
I made them up.
Oh, you made them up, right.
No, I was thinking, how can I get in contact with my pineal? I laid down on the floor and I put my feet in the ground. Always important to put the feet in the ground, that you have a grounding, because it's energy, so we need grounding for it to work. And I tried all kind of sounds, and then I knew that I'm not so much to just do what they say. You have to say Ram, you have to say that, you have to say that. Yes. I want it to work. If I can't feel it works, I do something else. So I wanted to be okay with my, all my hormonal problems, and also had pain everywhere in the body. All disappeared when I started working with the pineal. So I just tried different sounds, and then I knew that the burn tradition in Buddhism, an old shamanic tradition, that I got a book from my husband, Lars. He's a bookman, really big bookman. So I got that book, and I saw, okay, they use the R for the oneness in a way. So that's the same as me. But then they had the hung for the heart, and I tried to make some of the sound Ram and all this, and I've been trying all the vowels, and I couldn't get the pineal. Then when I sent the hung, hung, nothing happened. But then my voice started to say hung. It just started doing it when I concentrated on the pineal. So in the end, the voice told me actually what to do. And your voice will also, if you listen for your voice, you really listen for the expression of your voice, not words, but sound, then it will tell you all kinds of things.
And that's maybe the answer to Jerry's question as well, about whether hung song or undertones are more powerful for healing. I think you probably have to try this out for yourself.
It depends what it is, because the open undertones are more rough, and the hung is more fine. It's like the U in the real note is more precise. the hung is a very small area that you make the sound, but the is a rough. So if you want, for example, to take colic, that is a pain all over in the intestines or in intestine, then it would be nice to do the open one because it's wide one. But if it's somebody that have a pain a certain place, I would do the hung, you know. So.
Okay, well, obviously you get more details in Githa's book, and maybe we could just finish, Githa, with people are curious about the painting and the Sacred Heart painting. No, the painting behind you. They're curious about the story.
Yes, I found it in some flea market together with Jesus. You want to see Jesus too? Shall I get him?
Well, is that Mary Magdalene though?
I don't know. I think so. Yes, I think it's a Mary Magdalene because she's not there with the baby, and I think it's a Mary Magdalene. And then I just get the Jesus thing. You see, I started working. When I was married with Lars, she's very interested in all this mystics and all this, and I just found this too, you know. And here's the Jesus. So you see, he has also but that's the pain. He had the thorn crown, but she has the flowers. So his knowledge he has from the pain, you know. He's expanding through the pain, getting through the pain, like what he did on the cross. And Mary Magdalene, she's opening her heart with the flowers.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So the have it their way.
I think that's a wonderful note, the one note to finish the evening. And so I'm just going to blow the candle out and send this light and love to you all, everybody who's been on our call.
Thank you.
Evening, and especially to you, Githa, for what you've given us.
I will just tell you before you end up, I think I wrote down, I have it here. It is that if you want to have the free download where you can practice, can I show that? Or you want?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
Then you can do it here. It's under free downloads, and you have to press English if you want it in English. It's also in Danish and English, but downloads and also the books is in gilalai.com. Can you see it? No.
Yes, perfect. I put that in a bit earlier, but downloads, books, there you are. And
but it's not. And if you want to see more films and free webinars, that's all free. It's not. We don't. It's on the cosmoporter.com. So that's
what we'll do, Githa, is we'll send all this out in the recordings email for everybody.
Okay.
With those links and anything else you've got coming up or anything else you're doing online.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people will be interested.
Okay.
And so if you just give us the information you'd like to put out, we'll do that.
Right.
In the next couple of days.
Because right now I think it's a big change happening. We all know that. And I do a lot of the things for free also, because we need to now, we need to put fuel on all this to happen.
Very true.
Whatever will happen, we have to support the right thing. Oneness is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last week, was how oneness leads to goodness. And so, well, thank you all very much for coming. Thank you, Githa, for your beautiful gifts for us this
thank
evening.
You too for all what you're doing.
Togetherness. And we're sending much love to you and Lars and your boys.
And I will send a love to you too, from him and from me and my boys.
Right, good. Well, we're just, if you unmute everybody.
Yeah, so I've asked everyone to unmute.
We can say goodbye or
bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
David.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.